Mahayuti's landslide victory secured them a whopping 235 seats in these elections. Meanwhile, for the first time in 6 decades, the Maha Vikas Aghadi parties were left with insufficient number of seats to secure the position of the leader of opposition. Aditya Thackeray won by a very slim margin against Milind Deora, and the Congress leaders like Prithviraj Chavan suffered an embarrassing loss, prompting reprimands from the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi. Will the Mahayuti be able to run a stable government for the next 5 years? And if so, what does that leave for Shiv Sena's Uddhav Thackeray faction, for Sharad Pawar and for Supriya Sule, as well as the Congress in Maharashtra in the road ahead? Let's have a word with Rajalakshmi Joshi. We talked about, the winning side, the Mahayuti, the mega celebrations at the oath-taking ceremony. But on the flip side, what is happening to the losing side? How difficult is it going to be for Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray to stay in relevance today?
Good evening, Megha. Thank you for having me on your show. Very firstly, let me mention Mr. Uddhav Thackeray. Even though his numbers probably didn't seem as bad as of Congress, I would say that he today must be feeling like the biggest loser, because he was in the coalition with the BJP. In the past couple of governments, he had actually fought in alliance, and even before that also, from quite so many years, they have been in a natural alliance with the BJP. And in the last two elections, in the last two Vidhan Sabha elections, he has shown a little bit of dissent, and there was some differences. Yes, but I'm sure that they could have been ironed out. For sure, that was definitely possible. But now today what has happened is, he has not only lost his own party, he has gone away from his ideology, and today he has had to eat his own words. He has now gone back to the his own partymen, saying that now we are going to fight the next elections on the plank of Hindutva. Let's go back to our Hindutva. So that is how, he has had to literally make a U-turn of sorts, where he kept his mouth shut when even all the ulemas were saying that all the Muslims should be voting for the MBA, otherwise you will be banished from being a Muslim. And all these kind of things, he kept his mouth shut, and he went completely against his own ideology. And I think that today he must be really feeling like a very sore loser. And now after that, and so it is going to be extremely difficult for him to hold on to whatever few numbers of MLAs he has, MLAs as well as MPs. We keep hearing so many stories about so many people approaching the BJP and approaching Eknath Shinde about getting back to this, the Mahayuti. So that is how we stand with the Shiv Sena. Now coming to the Congress. Coming to the Congress, Megha, the Congress, you can see, is on the way out in almost all states. So, initially, there was this situation, in the initial few years after independence, where other parties had a problem finding the leader of opposition. Now, today, the Congress is in that kind of a situation. And sadly, because they keep going back to the people with the same narratives, they don't learn their lessons. See, just look at how in the Lok Sabha elections, they were the best performers, and it took them no time to become the worst performers. And the BJP, which did fairly badly in the Lok Sabha, they did a lot of course correction, and look at how they have completely swayed the elections in their favor. So that is how, that is a complete difference between the Congress and the BJP.
Okay,
now,
all right, I'll come back to
what happens here is, if we go historically in 1990s, 1980s, when BJP was trying to get inroads in Maharashtra, it was the Shiv Sena which compromised its own position, its own seat share, and gave it to BJP. It entered as a smaller brother, but now the things have changed and it came out as a bigger brother, compromised the. So what happens in Maharashtra? Hindutva party is one political vote bank. So there are two political parties in Hindu centric politics. So what happens is the vote has to be divided between the two parties. So what has been sabotaged is the vote share, the vote bank of Shiv Sena has been sabotaged, so that the BJP could be accommodated at a larger numbers, larger seats, and BJP has done well.
Let BMC elections take place, and you will exactly know what's happening to Shiv Sena. As far as Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray is concerned, their stronghold is BMC. And if they get routed over there, that will bring the death knell, because then people have decided that we do not want anyone who is gone out of his ideology for some time to get votes of the other side and then coming back to us and talking about it. And
Oh, well, the legacy of Sharad Pawar, has it faded? Is it now going to be ended with Sharad Pawar coming of age?
Well, I think his political career is, I think, I mean, a very big comma, or almost a full stop. Maybe that was if at all, his health is in good shape, then he could, I mean, still be active in the next 5 years. But 5 years, he has almost nothing to do now, because Maharashtra elections and the national elections almost coincide. So for 5 years, what is he going to do? So I really don't think he's going to depending on his health, of course, what happens in the next 5 years. But until then, I don't think he has anything to contribute nationally or in Maharashtra. They're completely routed. I think the danger lies to the smaller parties, the Shiv Sena.
Okay, all right. Rajalakshmi, you want to make a point about again looking forward, the 5-year term for the Mahayuti looks as if it's sealed. There is likelihood of toppling of the governments, poaching of MLAs, perhaps not this time around, with the strong mandate with which Mahayuti has come to power.
Yes, definitely. Megha, those kind of fears are definitely unfounded. So they will. The people have given a very strong mandate for a very stable government. So, like I was telling you earlier, that the BJP actually by itself could have formed the government with just a few MLAs from who are willing to actually support the BJP. So that was very easily possible. They don't need to forge anybody. So that was the kind of a situation. And now I also wanted to make a few quick points. I actually Manasvi spoke about how the BJP was not in existence. As such, yes, the BJP was not in existence when the Shiv Sena had started initially. But let me just remind him of one incident, that there was this young boy who in Nagpur had refused to go to a school called as Indira Convent, because his father, who was a Jan Sangh leader, he was jailed during the emergency by Indira Gandhi. So he refused to go to a school that had Indira Gandhi's name. And then he went to a school called Saraswati School. That kid grew up to become Devendra Fadnavis, who is today the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. So his father was a Jan Sangh leader, which has today transformed into the Bharatiya Janata Party. So the Bharatiya Jana Sangh was very much in existence in Maharashtra. In fact, it is, that the RSS is definitely rooted in Nagpur. So the Bharatiya Jana Sangh was nowhere apart or away from the state of Maharashtra.
Right.
So you cannot say that they did not have any existence. You
Right.
have had stellar
Okay.
leaders
Yeah.
like Pramod Mahajan, Gopinath Munde, Nitin Gadkari. All these leaders have been here, and they've been here much before Uddhav
Right.
Thackeray.
Right,
They've
absolutely.
been here from quite some time.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you can,
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. On that note, I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast.